GPS, or global positioning systems, kind of a regular everyday part of our lives. Whether it's a cell phone, in your dashboard, or on a wristwatch, we all use them. But it goes even further than use. Most people trust these devices to take them where they need to go. My wife makes fun of me because I even pull up directions for places I already know how to get to. We depend on them to get us from point A to point B. But they can also be misleading. Anyone who's ever tried using their GPS to find a building number on a military installation knows the pain I'm talking about. When the GPS starts taking us in the wrong direction, we just kind of naturally assume that it knows where it's going and that it wouldn't mislead us. Sometimes even the worst case scenario can happen though. The park rangers at Death Valley National Park in California call this death by GPS. It describes what happens when your GPS fails you, not necessarily by being wrong, but often by being too right. The GPS does such a good job of computing the most direct route between point A and point B that it takes you down an unimproved road which barely exists, or maybe it used to exist, or it's abandoned, or maybe it's just a goat trail that you couldn't possibly get your car through. For most of us, these incidents of death by GPS don't really result in death, just confusion. At my first assignment, I remember somebody shutting down a live fire because they drove too close to an impact area. Their GPS had calculated it as the shortest distance. The road guard figured they knew where they were going. Fortunately, nobody got hurt, if you don't count the CSM with apoplexy. Somewhat reminiscent of Michael Scott in The Office, in 2011, a Bellevue, Washington woman drove her SUV into a lake because her GPS said it was a road. I distinctly remember a few years ago during a training event at Fort Knox, Kentucky, a box truck getting stuck under a low bridge because Google Maps said, turn right. I think there's a truth that applies to our lives. What and who you listen to will ultimately influence your direction, and your direction will determine your destination. Here's the reality. In our current situation, there's so much information coming at you at Mach speed, and there are so many voices competing for our attention. We are inundated with anxiety-causing noise. And that raises a question. What do I do with all of the voices that are speaking to me? Very simply, we need to change the settings in our lives. If you're overwhelmed by the voices speaking to you, you need to start filtering what and who you take directions from. In the book of Philippians, the Apostle Paul, facing quite a few trials of his own, gives us a filter that we can use. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So ask yourself, is it true? Good or bad? Does this align with my values and my beliefs? Does this reflect my faith? Does this have the best in mind? Does this build up or tear down? Remember that what consumes your mind runs the risk of controlling your life. So don't give rent-free real estate in your head to those things and voices that distract. This week, think about the voices that you're listening to and try putting your trust in the ones that won't lead you astray.